Seeing none, in person or in hybrid access, I'm going to close public comment, and we will proceed to our 2023 budget hearing.
Okay, the overview of the 2023 budget, the budget summary with proposed amendment. We have operating and capital budgets, $57.7 million in the operating budget, $7.64 million in the general capital budget, $69.5 million in the water capital budget. $60.5 million represents PFAS improvements. Approximately $244 annual municipal tax increase on an average assessed home value of $707,500. Revenues and expenses are up approximately $2.2 million from the prior year. Municipal tax increase. The tax increase is the result of $2.6 million in revenue from the American Recovery Funds not available in 2023, years of modest or no tax increases, 2 years of 0%, 1 year of 0.99%, 4 years ranging from 1.20 to 2.20%. Use of one-time non-recurring revenues. Mandated cost increases include health benefits at 17.9%, pension at 10.7%, negotiated salary costs 1.5% to 3%, utilities 9.8%, materials and supply costs. 2023 goals. The tree wells in the Central Business District will be revitalized. Viable ash trees will be treated on public lands for the emerald ash borer. New trees will be planted in various locations throughout the village. We have awarded the contract for $2 million for paving projects for various village streets. We'll continue working on the plan for the Shedler Park property with the State Historic Preservation Office to obtain approval for the driveway entrance, parking lots, field, walking paths, restrooms, and playground, which will move the project forward. We expect the completion of the restoration of the Zabriskie Shedler House. We'll bring back the dining corrals and the pedestrian plaza in the Central Business District from June through early October. This will include entertainment, culturally themed weekends, and enjoyment for the entire family. We've held a summer job fair to meet with candidates interested in summer employment in order to encourage additional candidates to apply for seasonal positions. Ridgewood Water will continue to build PFAS treatment facilities in various locations throughout the utility. There will be replacement of public safety vehicles and equipment, as well as vehicles and equipment for other departments. We're designing and implementing a facility scheduling process through a computer software program to view all reservations, practices, and games on one master calendar, which will assist the sports groups, the Recreation Division, and the Parks Division as they prioritize field use and maintenance. It will also allow for scheduling events in various village buildings. Enter into a shared services agreement with other municipalities for use of our styrofoam densifier. Reconfigure parking zones in the Central Business District so that those parking vehicles can use multiple nearby kiosks to pay for parking. Expand the Water Smart portal for customers of Ridgewood Water, where they have access to many aspects of their account, including water usage, payment of bills, and other important information about Ridgewood Water. Encourage other public water utilities to join with Ridgewood Water in coordinating efforts for recovery of PFAS expenses. Our challenges in the general budget: maintaining revenue targets, controlling budget expenditures, defensive tax appeals, appraisal costs, court settlements, recovering from COVID impact on revenues, police overtime, stabilizing infrastructure, and one-time revenues. In the water utility, weather conditions, stabilized infrastructure, compliance with new EPA water quality regulations, and PFAS debt. Parking is recovering from COVID impact on parking revenues. Our opportunities include shared services agreements and expanded health services. I'll have Bob Rooney, our CFO, continue from here.
So the revenue pie chart reflects the comparison of revenues from 23 to 22. As you can see, the majority of our revenues come from property taxes. This year, the property taxes are approximately $2 million higher than they were last year. We also required an anticipated surplus of approximately $350,000 more than we did in the prior year. As Heather indicated earlier, we had a loss of $2.6 million in American Recovery Funds, so that impacted the need for the increase in the taxes. The next chart shows the comparison of expenditures 23 to 22. The significant changes there are statutory expenditures are up $700,000 over last year, insurance of $1.1 million over last year, utilities $200,000, and public safety $800,000. After review by the state of all the documentation that we're required to provide, we have an amending resolution tonight. Two of the revenue items are for reclassification of how utility from general fund anticipates utility from water had to be moved up into another section, and the state aid amount that was being utilized was less than what we had anticipated for, or rather realized for last year. We also had a change in the general fund of a reclass for public employees retirement system of $2,481. And in the water, we had to reclass how we recorded the revenue stream, so we were able to adopt within amounts that did not exceed last year's realized. The budget with proposed amendments in the general fund provides for appropriations of $57.7 million, less surplus anticipated of $4.6 million, miscellaneous revenues of $11.5 million, receipts from delinquent taxes for $500,000, resulting in an amount to be raised by taxation local of $38,490,000, and a library tax of $2,583,000. This will generate 2023 taxes on an average assessed value of $707,500, assessed value home for $4,917, as compared to last year on an assessed value of $702,349 to $4,635. Municipal portion is $65.09, and the library portion this year is $4.40. And then the last chart shows your tax dollars. The village library is approximately 25% of the total cost. School is 65%, and county 11%.
So at this time, we'll have village council comments.
Anyone?
Am I reading this correctly? Are taxes on an average home going up less than $300? Did I
Yes.
read that correctly? Okay,
For
thank you.
municipal, the municipal share.
Yeah, municipal. Thank you.
I mean, I have a few comments on it. Obviously, want to thank Bob. Want to thank everyone. I mean, I think you did a nice job of laying out. There were some incredible headwinds that we had to deal with this year. The $2.6 million in COVID funds that we lost was a huge hole in our budget. The fact I appreciate the fact that you pointed out that we've seen very modest tax increases over the last couple of years, and at some point, that has to catch up to inflation. The health benefits going up by 18%, and there's of course inflation, which hits everyone. So clearly, going into this season, it was going to be a very difficult budget season. I'm really proud of the fact that we still have some accomplishments we're going to get done this year. I think finishing Shedler, the pedestrian plaza, the fact that we thankfully avoided any furloughs, the fact that we also have some critical infrastructure projects we're going to get done, like replacing some vehicles that need to be replaced, as well as paving, are also, I think, real high points given the headwinds we had to deal with. And most importantly, the PFAS remediation, which I think is absolutely critical and key, and was really pleased that we got this done. So while I can't say that I'm happy with any real tax increase, and I understand you're breaking it down to about $250, it's still, I think, about 4 or 5%, which I'm not happy about. Given the headwinds, it makes sense to me. And, and I agree with it. Hopefully we'll have a better year next year. But while I'm not happy, I am content with where we wound up, and want to thank Bob, want to thank Heather, want to thank all the village employees for where we got to.
Thank you.
I, too, wanted to just say a couple things. Obviously, Evan and I are new up here, and I've said this before, we're expected to be political, but right now I'm incredibly grateful. I've learned a lot on the other side. I grew up here. Sometimes you come in thinking you know a lot, and this budget process has really opened my eyes to the operating and the competition for capital, which was somewhat stunning this year. So I'm very happy that everyone in Ridgewood at this point with this budget is slightly just a little unhappy, because that means there were a lot of compromises. To To Heather and Bob, I'm incredibly grateful that you answered all my questions. I did ask a lot. And to all the department heads and the people who showed up for answering my questions, no matter how silly or ignorant they were, I'm incredibly grateful. And to the 3 members of the council who were here before, again, incredibly grateful. This is a serious thing, taxes, because we really do, as the daughter of somebody who grew up here, we want to retain our aging population. We want to honor our staff, and this has been a very difficult balancing act. And I really wish I had like a hand in all of it, but I just wanted to express incredible gratitude for the process and understanding it. I also want to say thank you to everybody for extending it. One of the things that I think was really great about this is that in the early part of March, we knew we weren't ready. And I know this put everybody in a back end with the state, but I do think lengthening the process avoided the furloughs, and I think it really enhanced the discussion. So that's it. I wish I had more pragmatic, impressive things to say, but at this point, we are incredibly lucky to live in such a safe, lovely community where people really, when they're honest with the conversation, a greater good occurs. So thank you to everybody.
I thought you were very pragmatic in your comments. I really want to echo, I think Evan said it better than I possibly could. It was a tough year. 7% inflation. To keep the increase well below that was a big deal, especially given the increase of 22% in health care costs. And yet we're somehow finding a way to do $2 million in much-needed paving this year. And I want to thank everyone in this room, the department heads, Heather and Bob, but especially the staff. We were trying to figure out some really tough things, and when furloughs were on the table, nobody wanted that. And for the entire staff, you should be grateful to Heather and Bob because they figured it out. And they worked tirelessly to get this done. And we are all so grateful for that. And we really appreciate your patience, and for the department heads who also were working so hard to figure out a way through this very difficult time. You guys were invaluable. I know many of you for decades. And the work that you did this year was as critical as the work that you've done in any year. So I personally want to thank you. I want to thank you all on behalf of the council. And I am also grateful that we are here today and that we're here together. I love seeing our village employees, staff, family here in the audience as we finish this budget.
We'll now move on to the public hearing.
Will the clerk please read the title of the 2023 budget?
2023 budget for the Village of Ridgewood.
The public hearing on the 2023 budget is now open. Seeing no one for public comment?
Do you have anyone online?
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
Thank you. I move the public hearing on the 2023 budget be closed.
I second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3950 by title on second reading and that the public hearing thereon be opened.
Have a second.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3950?
Water utility bond ordinance providing for various water utility improvements in and by the Village of Ridgewood in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $8,996,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $8,546,000 bonds or notes of the village to finance part of the cost thereof.
The public hearing is now open. I move that the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3951 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
3950.
3950 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
I second the motion.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3951 by title on second reading and that the public hearing thereon be opened.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3951?
A bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Village of Ridgewood in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $5,732,774 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $5,446,135 bonds or notes of the village to finance part of the cost thereof.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3951 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
You have a second?
I
I
second the motion.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3952 by title on second reading and that the public hearing thereon be opened.
Second. Oops.
Sorry. I'll defer.
Okay. Counts, Deputy Mayor Perrin, okay. Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3952?
A bond ordinance providing for the creation of a website in and by the Village of Ridgewood in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $39,140 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $37,183 bonds or notes of the village to finance part of the cost thereof.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Any second?
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3952 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
I second the motion.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3953 by title on second reading and that the public hearing thereon be opened.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Will the clerk, yes, forgive me. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3953?
A bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of portable radios and a license plate reader for the parking utility in and by the Village of Ridgewood in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $60,770 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $60,770 bonds or notes of the village to finance the cost thereof.
I move the public hearing, the public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh,
I need a motion.
sorry. I move that ordinance 3953 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
I need a
Second.
Okay. Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes.
The following resolutions, numbered 23-155 through 23-156, are to be adopted by a consent agenda with one vote by the village council. They will be read by title only. Cancel emergency appropriation balances, acquisition of waste-to-energy and photovoltaic energy systems. Cancel emergency appropriation balances, gasoline and diesel fuel. May I have a motion?
So,
moved.
May I have a second?
second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes.
Following resolutions number 23-157 through 23-158 will be considered separately and read in full. Whereas the local municipal budget for the year 2023 was approved on the 30th day of March 2023, and whereas a public hearing on said budget has been held as advertised, and whereas it is desired to amend said approved budget, now therefore be it resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that the following amendments to the approved budget of 2023 be made as per attached Schedule A. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos?
Yes.
Okay. Be it resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood, County of Bergen, that the budget hereinbefore set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes stated of the sums therein set forth as appropriations, and authorization of the amount of $38,490,041.37 for municipal purposes, $303,000 for open space, recreation, farmland, and historic preservation trust fund levy, and $2,583,159.08 maintenance of free public library. Summary of revenues. General revenues. Surplus anticipated, $4,569,770. Miscellaneous revenues anticipated, $11,501,371.25. Receipts from delinquent taxes, $514,000. Minimum library tax, $2,583,159. Amount to be raised by taxation for municipal purposes, $38,490,041.37. Total revenues, $57,658,341.62. Summary of appropriations, general appropriations within caps, operations including contingent, $46,450,761.57. Operations, total operation excluded from caps, $4,123,675.25. Capital improvements, $425,000. Municipal debt service, $5,041,790. Deferred charges municipal, $387,114.80. Reserve for uncollected taxes, $1,230,000. Total appropriations, $57,658,341.62. It is hereby certified that the within budget is a true copy of the budget finally adopted by resolution of the governing body on the 27th day of April 2023. It is further certified that each item of revenue and appropriation is set forth in the same amount and by the same title as appeared in the 2023 approved budget, and all amendments thereto, if any, which have been previously approved by the Director of Local Government Services. May I have a motion?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes.
Before we go on, I just want to thank all the department directors, all the employees who work so hard for the village every day. I thank the directors for really giving up a lot of money this year in their budgets. It's going to be a tight year, but I know we'll get through it. I want to thank Bob Rooney for all his work. I want to thank Olivia Andrula for all the budget meetings that she attended and all the work she did towards the budget, and Steve Senzari, our treasurer, who also verified figures with our CFO. So I really just appreciate everyone's cooperation, and I know we'll get through the year, and I too am very pleased that there are no furloughs.
Well said, Heather.
So we have comments now.
And now I will open up the floor to public comment. Seeing none, I will close public comment. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Nope.
Thank you.